Hey, it's TDA, and today I want to show you the demo of Outworld Stations, a game that's coming out I believe in a month or two. It is definitely a early release version in the demo form, so don't expect too much of it, but it looks really fun and interesting, so you might want to put it on your wish list. And here we are, we have our first station zoning in. I did leave on the tutorial, so we're going to have to kind of sit through that. Not entirely sure if there will be some voiceovers from this later on. But for now, the game is just going to tell me how to steer my ship around. But you can see I have this little ship here following around my cursor. This is basically us, and we can start picking up asteroids and things like that. I really like the fact that we are actually present in this world and you can really interact with it. So the basic idea here is that we're going to need to produce certain materials in order to complete contracts, so it will allow us to get access to more stuff. And by doing that, be able to build even more stuff and then complete more contracts. But the pretty same premise as we have in every single factory game. Now, as you can see, we are going to get some starting resources from our station over here. That's going to allow us to build a couple of things. So we first need to build an atomizer and a smelter. So we're going to do exactly that. So you can see we have some general things over here. The atomizer is under resources. And the nice thing is, if we drag this out a little bit, and we are definitely going to want to do that, we are automatically making something that basically functions like belts. These connectors over here is what is going to be transporting our units. Now we're also going to need a smelter. I'm actually going to build it a little further away from this, and you'll see why in a moment. Maybe even further away actually. There we go. And this is going to be able to smelt the stuff we put in our atomizer. Now, in order for things to be transported from A to B, we actually do need to connect things. So we need to go to the connection mode. We need to select our atomizer, and we click the thing we want it to connect to. And then we can also connect this thing and connect it to our hub. And this will allow us to start transporting the things that we are producing here back to our main base for storage. Now, what we want to produce initially, let me select the recipe over here, is some titanium, we need some carbon, and we also need some gold. So we're actually going to need several of these smelters, and I am going to set a couple more of these up. Actually, I think pretty close to the initial one, just to make it look nice and tidy. So let's just make maybe one of each. Let's keep it simple first. One over here and then one over here. You can actually rotate these things as well if you want. What do we need? We need some carbon and we need some gold. There we go. Now, how do we actually get resources? Now, that's actually really simple. We can get these asteroids by ourselves and dump them in the atomizer, as you can see. And this is very smooth, very satisfying. I really kind of like this system. It does get old after a little while, but we do get a fair amount of resources from throwing in these asteroids, as you can see. So there's quite a bit of output there already. The output is actually what I think is the input. Not entirely sure how this works, but we should see some of this stuff moving pretty soon. Let's make sure we also connect the atomizer to the other smelters. So all the raw resources can start moving, and there you go. We have an entire belt full of stuff moving to some of our smelters. Apparently we mostly got things to make carbon. We also are going to be producing some gold. Did we get no titanium whatsoever? That's interesting, considering that is supposed to be the thing that we find the most. So we're just going to throw in some more of these. You can see you kind of just fling them at the atomizer and it does most of the work for you. Some of these smaller asteroids as well over here. And they find their way in there eventually. Now, I might have done something wrong. Oh, I actually didn't select the recipe. I was about to say, why are we not producing any titanium? Well, that's because I didn't select the recipe. So, I actually think I want a few more of these titanium smelters, because I did already play this game a little bit. How do I rotate again? Little mouse button. There we go. Make them look nice and tidy. Just a little row. We don't actually need to connect everything to a belt, because there is actually connections underneath here as well, so the buildings are connected to each other. So if we select titanium over here and titanium over here, some of the raw resources will go through this smelter into the ones on the side as well, and that should take care of all our supply needs. Okay, so we have all the resources we need, so we can complete this contract and we can move on to the next. Now we're going to need some power to power some of our other buildings. So that means we're going to maybe build out to this direction. I'm not entirely sure what makes the most sense. And look, we got additional modules, items and parts. We can now make a matter printer, which is basically just going to make us able to produce more complicated stuff. However, in order to do that, we're going to need a solar generator. Yes, I know. There we go. And this is going to allow us to generate power. However, we do need to align it to the sun, which is really interesting. So we actually can manually align this, and we need to turn it to the sun, which is apparently in this direction. And I will need to recalibrate this every now and then, because as the sun moves, or as we move, I should say, the sun is not the one moving, our position changes relative to the sun, and we need to realign this. It's not something that will happen too fast, so it's not something you need to do every few minutes, but we will lose power if we don't do this every now and then. It's worth noting, by the way, that you can craft items yourself as well, just from your inventory, but of course that is not what you want to do in an automating game, unless you really have to. What I also really like about this game is that it very clearly tells you what your recipes currently are and in which type of machine you should produce those recipes. There's a lot of these factory games out there that make this very hard to find, and I like that this is super clear about what you need to produce where. Okay, so let's start building some more complicated stuff. So I'm gonna set up some connectors first. Maybe this should be our little hub over here where we complete the more complicated things. And let's start with a matter printer or two. I'm actually inclined to build these in a row, but I'm already out of what? Hull plating. So let's start with that then. Let's make some hull plating over here. That is going to need some titanium, so we can actually connect our hub to this and then the thing back to the hub. And then the titanium should start flowing out over here into our matter printer, and we should have hull plating available within a few moments. Alright, so we have some more hull plating. That means we can move on to making some other things, like for example the basic frames, which is another thing that I need for pretty much all my buildings. And the same thing holds. I can connect this to this, and then we should see some more resources flowing in, so we can also start making some of that. Now this both requires titanium, and the nice thing is, because I have this main hubs selected as my primary source, it will automatically spread the titanium between all the sources that require it. So it's an equal spread between these matter printers, so I don't need to bother with splitters and things like that. But as the production chain becomes more complicated, we might need to work with like intermediate storages and things like that to make sure we get the items where they need to go. I've added in a matter printer for the other resources as well, but the fiber optics are actually not being produced, and that's because we don't have glass fiber, which is a perfect moment for me to show you how you can actually add additional layers to your station. Because yes, this is multi-dimensional. As you can see, we just added in a vertical layer on top of this, and I'm not going for the most pretty looking layout here, by the way, just in case you're wondering. Oh, I actually need some more plating, so let's pick some more of that up. We have plenty of that now in our storage. And let's build another layer of smelters on top of here. There we go. So you can see we have a multi-dimensional, and that's very cool. You can also like look around. Look at that, look at that. It's a real space station starting to appear here. Anyway, we're going to be building some glass fiber over here. That means that we also need to connect this to this and this to this. I like that you don't have to fiddle around too much with these belts. Although I would prefer if in the final version, for example, these connectors only like show the side paths once there's actually a connection there, but maybe that's asking too much, I don't know. But anyway, look at that, we're now producing some silica as well, so that means we'll have some fiber optics moving soon as well. Now all of this so far is pretty straightforward, but if we zoom out a little bit, you can see on the map that there is a lot more to explore. There's just some asteroids over here, but if we venture out further, we can find some damaged ships that we can repair, things like that. But if we zoom out even farther, we can go to the system level. We are currently in this asteroid belt over here, but you can see there's multiple places to explore that you can at some point actually interconnect with ships. I'm not entirely sure if I will get that far during this demo, but yeah, just as a note, there is a lot more to this game than what you have seen so far. Okay, so let's just fly around a little bit. Let's pick up some more of these asteroids. Let's toss them into our atomizer so we can complete the main quest. Okay, so let's see. We have all the things we need for this. This means we are now leveling up our station to level 3. And we get some fabricator, which is allowing us to make even more complicated stuff. And yes, things will get a lot more complicated really quickly now. Okay, so let's see. In order to make that more complicated stuff, I will probably need a little bit of room. Let's make a large station because we can. Let's see. And then we have a meteor strike coming in. Okay, that's interesting. These meteors are going to be striking like that. Can we do anything about that? I am not entirely sure. Let's go and find out. Where are those meteors? Hello? Hello? Oh, there's some enemies over there. We can switch to combat mode and kill them. Boom. Dead. Anyway, oh, there's more here. There's more here. I was looking for asteroids and now I'm finding enemies. That was not entirely the plan, but I ran out of energy. I'm not very good at fighting just yet. That's also something to keep in mind. But anyway, oh, I think I hear the asteroids. There we go. There's some more enemies over there, but let's leave those alone. Can I shoot at the asteroids? Yes. Okay, I am defending my colony. There we go, there we go. Meteor strike has ended. Oh, look, there's something here over well. But yeah, let's stay on task. I get distracted very easily, as you can notice here. Okay, what are we making? We were producing some fabricators. I can't afford those because I need composite, but I actually do have that. I just didn't pick it up yet. There we go. So let's see. If we build some fabricators, we need 3 different items. I actually don't know if all of those items are being produced in a fabricator. Let's check that out. We need some nanoplating, sure. We need some reinforced frames, and then we need artificial diamonds. So this is where the codex comes in handy. So let's check where we need to make those. We are going to be making those in a matter printer actually, but in order to do that, we are going to need what? Oh, just carbon actually. What is this then? This is molecular bondings, which we need for what? Oh, we actually need those for both the nanoplating and the reinforced frames. Sure, but let's focus on the artificial diamonds first. So that means we are going to be putting down one more matter printer. We might as well put that over here, I guess. And then this one is going to be making those diamonds. Now, where are we making our carbon? Over here. So we actually, no, we link that to our main hub. So we can link this to the one over here and then this one back here. And that should start producing us some diamonds. Now, this is going to take some of our plates and some of our frames. And I do want to make sure I keep some of those in storage. So what I'm actually going to do, we have some storage over here. Let's build some storage here. I need some more plates for that. Which is exactly why I want to make sure I keep some of those. And then, well, let's make another one of those over here. And now what I'm actually going to do, can I set this to store a specific item? I don't think so, but what I can do is make sure this is linked up to the storage and this is also linked up to the storage. And that should mean that some of these plates and frames that are being produced are going to go into storage rather than just going to go in the hub. The hub is going to absorb the main stuff and it's going to be our main distribution center. Honestly, long term that is probably a very bad idea, but for now it will suffice. And then this is going to be a little bit of storage that we have for some of the resources that we might need in order to build stuff. Well, that sounded like a very good idea to also do for the other matter printers, but then I lost power. And that probably means I need to realign my solar panels. There we go. Everything starts working again. How much power do we actually have? We have a usage of 55 and a maximum of 60. And we are producing 80. So we're getting pretty close to needing more solar panels. So let's expand our solar panel array a little bit. I'm not a huge fan of energy storage because that doesn't actually solve the problem, it just makes it appear later. But you can actually align all your solar panels at the same time, so that is very nice. Okay, so I actually don't need these two, these are looking very ugly. Let's remove those. And then what do we need? We need some of that molecular bonding. Now, let me check the codex again. We are going to need to produce that in a smelter, and it's just going to be made from silica. That seems pretty straightforward. You need 12 for this and 12 for that, so we actually need quite a bit of that stuff. Okay, where we were making some silica, we were making silica over here for the glass fiber. We're actually going to need a whole lot more of that. So let's just make a little bit of an expansion over here, and then some smelters. Probably going to need a couple of them. Let's turn that. We are going to need a fair few of these because we need a whole lot of that molecular bonding. Now I haven't actually found out if I can copy paste. Check that. If I just do Control C, nope, that doesn't work. I'm wondering if I can actually copy the recipe from one building to another. I hope that will be in the final version at least, but for now I can't. I can do this, and then I can link this up with all of those. I can link this up with that. There we go. And then I have 0 silica in my atomizer, so I'll need to fix that. But before I do that, let me also link up the hub to the fabricator over here. And the nice thing of having the hub is that all the resources come in here, so I actually don't need to assign the different individual resources to this fabricator. I just need to assign the hub to that, and that will make sure all the resources get where they need to go. And then this can be connected back to the hub, and we should get our nanoplating and reinforced frames there in a second. Now what I need to go and do is go and fly out here and get some more of those asteroids, and then toss them in the atomizer. There we go. And I'll find some more enemies probably along the way, and we can go and kill those. As you can see, there is enemies in this game, but they are not quite difficult yet. Of course, if you play on some of the other levels that will be available later on, those enemies will likely get a lot more dangerous, but for now, we have no problem dealing with them. Ooh, I was looking for some silica, but then I found some more enemies, and we also have this derelict ship over here. So let's kill these slingers, and hopefully they won't kill me along the way. As you can see, I'm actually taking a fair bit of damage. Should probably take a bit more effort in actually avoiding them, because, I don't know, avoiding their fire is actually really easy. I'm just very lazy and not doing that at all. I keep running out of power though. I need to be a little bit more patient to try not to actually fly into their fire. There we go. What do I need? I need a small engine in order for this to be repaired. I actually have no idea where I can get a small engine, but hopefully we'll find one later on. Oh, actually there's a container over here. Oh, there's some stuff in there. That's nice. Some more over here actually. Some more pots. Quite a bit of resources actually over here as well. So these little locations are definitely worth checking out because there's a lot of resources in there, and hopefully once we can actually open up that ship, we'll get some nice things out of there as well. I did some more exploring and actually found a derelict ship that has a requirement that I can already fulfill. So let's unlock that and see what that gives us. There is an artifact in here. That is interesting. We can actually bring back this artifact to our main base and then use it in a building that I don't think I've already built. So we actually have an artifact analyzer building unlocked as well. So let's put that right next to our hub, just because that makes it easy to find. And then I think we can put the, yep, there we go. We can put the artifact in there and it's going to be scanned. And that should give us another point to spend on our technology tree over here. As you can see, it currently takes about 5 minutes for this to complete, so that is a perfect opportunity to actually move on to the next phase, because we have all the nanoplating and the reinforced frames and diamonds that we need. So let's complete that and see what is up next. Okay, so we have now a miner unlocked, as well as something else that I didn't quite see, and we have our first ship. Oh, apparently a lot of other things. Oh, we actually can now make those small engines that we needed to unlock one of those other ships that we found. So that is interesting and nice as well. So, that's a lot of new things. Let's move on. So we have the small shipyard unlocked, and that means that we can start building ships and have those ships do a lot of the flying around for us. So that's interesting. And we are going to need some Aeon hoppers, whatever those are, fast taxi ships. So these are actually ships that we need to produce in order to move on, and we need to make some computers. You would think that some of this stuff already has computers in it, but yeah, anyway. First things first, let's have some production up and running. So let's see, we can now make circuit boards, which are made from fiber optics and gold, which is nice because we have a lot of that actually. And then we can use those circuit boards with some more fiber optics to make that into computers. What do we need for the engines? Oh, just some hull plating and composite actually, so that should be pretty straightforward. All of this is made in a fabricator, so what I'm going to do is add another row of fabricators to make all of this stuff. Okay, so let's see, let's add in at least 2 more fabricators, there we go, and then one of these is going to make circuit boards, and then another one of these is going to make computers, and why not, so while I'm at it, let's add in another one. Let's keep it nice and symmetric. I am playing a little bit fast and loose today, I hope you don't mind, but I want to stay at least somewhat organized. And then this is going to be making those small engines. Now, in order to do that, again, we need to make sure this is hooked up to this, and this is hooked up to this. What does this need? Fiber optics, and yeah, that should be fine, just like that. And then we do this the other way around as well. Should that fix everything? Well, actually, what we kind of want to do is connect this to this, I guess. Because this is going to make these circuit boards, and we have no use for those other than making computers. So actually, I don't want to have this connected, and if you repeat the connection, it actually breaks the connection. So the circuit boards are just going to go into the computers, and then the computers should be produced as soon as we get enough of those fiber optics. Are we actually still producing that? Where are we producing that? Here. That needs some of that glass. We probably want to double up on some of this then as well, because we need quite a bit of glass and quite a bit of fiber optics. So let's add in this. Let's make sure it's nicely aligned. And then this is also going to make glass fiber. This is going to make glass fiber. Not sure what I clicked there. And then this is going to connect to this. This is also going to connect to this, and these two are going to feed into the hub over here. Look at that. This is turning into an actual space station now. But it's not a real space station unless we have some more ships docking here. So let's add another connector over here. And then where was the small shipyard? Over here. There we go. Look at that. Now we can start making our own ships. Now this is actually going to be a little bit more resource intensive, because obviously building actual ships is going to require a lot more resources. So let's queue up some of those Aeon hoppers. We're going to need at least 5 of them. That means we need a lot of hull plating, computers and small engines, all of which we are already producing. So all I should need to do is connect this up to that. Is this now connected? Yep. And we should see some of those resources coming in. Now this is going to take a while, but in the meanwhile, hopefully we should see that our artifact is now good to go. So we do in fact have 1 technology point, and we can spend that on quite a few different things. So for example, we can upgrade our drone, give it more hit points, more carry weight, which is very useful for carrying around a lot more of those asteroids. More inventory slots makes a lot of sense as well, because my inventory is getting quite full. Let me show you actually. You can see this is my inventory right now. I only have 16 slots, and we are producing quite a few items already, so I'm going to run out of that space quite soon. We can get some more defense, more offense as well. I honestly don't think this is something we should prioritize, probably just the like the economy stuff. And then on top of that, we can also start upgrading our station to generate more power, more movement on our belts basically. Max freighter speed is going to be very interesting once we have some of those ships up and running, and more yields on atomizers is super useful as well. So all in all, there is a lot of things here that we can upgrade. We only have the 1 point for now though. Yeah, maybe 20 yield from all atomizers makes sense. So let's take that, and then we get some more upgrades after that as well, but we need more of those artifacts before we can do that. Now we actually just got a optional quest that is on a timer, but if we do that we get some more reinforced frames. Only 4 of them, but given how resource intensive it is to make those, it might make sense to do that. So let's check the map. Do we have any of those seekers out here? Not that I know. I think some of these locations might be more heavy defended. As you can see, I did do some more exploring, and if I remember correctly, actually, I think I saw a seeker over there. So let's go in that direction. There is no one over here. You can actually drag around the ships as well. I forgot to show you. Look, I'm just dragging around the ship now, and I can actually toss that ship into the atomizer as well. Hey, I was trying to show them something. Okay, hold on. Let me get another ship. Okay, so let's see if this one works. The ship actually does keep firing at you while you're dragging it around, so that's interesting. Go in there. Look, it went into the atomizer and I got some stuff out of that. So yeah, it's a really fun thing that I think they added to the game, that you can actually drag around and just toss entire enemies into the atomizer as well if you want to. Would you look at that, we have our first ship. It doesn't actually have any fuel yet, but yeah, we are producing some ships now. In the meanwhile, I want to try something else out as well. Let's see, I have another new thing, the miner, that I can craft, and I have a titanium ore node on this asteroid over here. So if I place this on here, this is actually not going to be producing anything by itself because it needs power. Well, luckily I can do something about that. There we go. Let's make sure this, so this is actually perfectly aligned to the sun already. And this is just going to drill the titanium ore all by itself, and it actually does so really, really fast. Look at that. So this is going to make it a lot easier to get all the titanium that I need. And you know what's better than one miner? Two miners. So let's make another one, and in this case it's going to be one that is going to be producing carbon ore, which is nice because in order to make those computers I actually need a lot of that, and I kept running out of that just mining it from normal asteroids. Is this actually automatically aligning to the sun or what? If it is, I'm not complaining. That is actually really nice. But yeah, look at the amount this is actually generating. This is super nice. Given the amount that this is generating, I am going to hook it up with a storage unit so I have 16 times as much space to store all of that stuff coming in. No, the solar panels are not actually auto-aligning, which is a shame, but yeah, I'll just have to do it manually. I just got lucky the first time around. They were already positioned perfectly. There we go. And now it's up and running again. But look at that. We have almost 1,000 of that carbon waiting for us already. With all of those resources now flowing in, I'm actually getting some space issues in my hub as well. So I'm going to need to resort to some more optimized storage strategies. So let's do a little bit drastic and let's destroy this entire section of my factory. And let's completely rebuild it in a little bit more optimized way because I like doing that. There we go, I have now dedicated storage units for all my different types of ores, and then a nice line of smelters to process that, and then a dedicated storage to receive those items. Now these items are still being sent to the hub, so if this runs out of space they will still be produced, but they will be stuck in this storage unit. But right now I do have a little bit more space in my hub as well, because I spent one of those asteroids, or artifacts I should say, to upgrade my storage space. And apparently that doesn't just upgrade the space I have in my own little robot, it also upgrades the space in the hub, so that's super convenient, and therefore I think a high priority thing to get early on, just to make your life a little bit easier so you don't have to fiddle around too much with these different storage units. And in the meanwhile, I also upgraded my power supply, so you can see I have a lot. I have a double layer of these solar cells now actually up and running. I upgraded some more of my fabricators and what are these called, matter printers as well. And I also got one of these miners for all the different base resources, which means I no longer have to gather any of those asteroids manually anymore, because I can just go and pick up several stacks of the raw resources from these things. I do need to align the power every now and then, but by adding a couple of these power cells to them, I can make sure that there's enough energy storage there to make sure these things keep running as long as I can without having to manually go back to there. Now, what you definitely want to do is have these ships fly these resources between your stations for you, but for now I can't do that, because once I complete this 4th station expansion, the demo will end, and this is all I can show you at the moment. I don't know about you, but this looks very interesting. It's pretty straightforward so far, but it does have a real sense of scaling up, automation. All in all, it plays really smooth as well, so I hope you really like this look at the demo. Unfortunately, the demo should not be available anymore by the time you see this, but put this on your wish list. In a couple of months, I will make a dedicated video on this game once it actually comes out. For now, if you're still here, you're awesome, and I do hope to catch you in the next one.